Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to EnglishEverest.com with me, Trevor Gordon. I am your teacher today for another IELTS Task 1 writing lesson in our series of Task 1 writing lessons. This lesson is going to begin a series of lessons, short lessons. Each lesson will review a sample essay. When you're preparing to take the test, sample essays are a vital source of information. You should review good essays and also bad essays so you can see what you should not do. So in this lesson we're going to do a series of different essay types. So we have the plan, we have the bar chart, we have the process or diagram, even process diagram. We have a line graph or line chart. We have a pie chart or pie graph, and we have a table. These are the 6 things that you will have. So we're going to look at each one and just review it, look at some good points and look at how each essay is organized. So let's begin. So just to reiterate, in these final videos for Task 1, we're going to look at some sample essays. When you prepare for the exam, you should always read good samples to see what you need to achieve. Sample essays are good to read for the following reasons: the vocabulary, the grammar, sentence structure, both simple and complex. Tells you how to use data, it tells you how to write overviews, and it tells you about punctuation. You can read good examples of each one here, which will show you what you need to follow. So there's the introduction. It won't be in the other videos, it will be in this first video. So today's lesson is a line chart. So as you can see here, we have 3 groups, city A, B and C. We go from 1980 to 2010, which tells us it's a dynamic chart. And then we have the number here. This is the number of cities. We know that even though it's not written here, because I was trying to save space, the title tells us. The graph shows the information about the international conferences in 3 capital cities. So this in 1980 to 2010. So this tells us how many conferences there are. So we can see, we do the introduction and the overview. The line graph compares 3 capital cities in terms of the number of international conferences hosted between 1980 and 2010. Overall, it is clear that the number of international conferences in City A and B declined over this period. Went down, went down. In contrast, opposite, in City C, the number of such conferences saw a rapid increase until the year 2010. Remember, we're not giving all the data, we're saying what we can see. We look at the graph and we just make a sentence or 2 about what we can see. We can see that A and B went down and C went up quite a lot. So paraphrase changes. In these essays, I've added certain things that show you different information. Paraphrase changes, shows, compares, shows to compares, about the changes to in terms of, hosted from to becomes hosted between and. Overview, conferences declined in A and B, increased in C. So that's a very clear title, paraphrase and overview. Now we have the data. So in the green, we've got the rise and fall. In red, we have the figures. And in blue, we have the language of comparison. So in 1980, there were 35 international conferences in City A. So this is where we begin. Remember, when we begin, we have to have a starting point. So we include that in our up and down figures, or motion, sorry. There were 35 conferences in City A compared with 30 in City B. So there's our first comparison. Despite similar fluctuations, again, there's another comparison. These figures then decreased overall. Actually, sorry, fluctuations is up and down. So it's not comparing, it's up and down. So that's movement. These figures decreased overall until in 2005, both cities hosted 27 conferences. There's 2005 there. By 2010, conferences in City B had overtaken the number in City A. City B had overtaken the number in City A, correct, with 26 and 24 respectively. So 26, 24 respectively. So paragraph 3, City A and B compare. Figures 1980, give numbers for 2005 when both cities had the same. Compare final numbers in 2010. That's what we've done in this short paragraph. City C held no international conferences in 1980. However, it was the venue for 20 conferences in 1990. So what we're saying is it started at none and had 20. That says it's risen, but we haven't actually said that. Sometimes we can change the language. And by the year 2000, this figure had risen dramatically to 35. The number then remained higher than the other two. So there's the other two. It remained higher than the other two other cities, although it fell slightly. There's our slight fall to 31 conferences by the end of the period. So paragraph 4 contrasts City C trends and give numbers figures for 1980, 90, 2000 and 2010. So there's our introduction. There is our paragraph A, cities A and B. There's our paragraphs 3. So 1, 2, 3. Paragraph City C. These two are together because they go down. This is alone because it goes up. So City C needs to be in a separate paragraph from these two, and everything's been fully laid out. Number of words, 164. This is over our 150 word limit. So let's continue. The essay demonstrates several points which contribute to a high band score. The points below should be followed to produce a high scoring essay. Vocabulary used is not too complex, but used accurately. Uses change language well and in variation. The objective is to accurately describe the graph, not to make lots and lots of complicated sentences. Grammar used mixes simple and complex sentences. No grammar errors. That's because this is one of mine. So as a native, there won't be any errors, but if you read some samples from students, you will see some errors. A few errors is okay, it's not a problem. Sentence structures, again, are as above, this. So they follow a mixture of simple and complex. Data is grouped into increases and decreases. 2 cities decreased, 1 increased. And everything is paraphrased effectively. The overview is simple, but describes the graph accurately. Punctuation is used correctly in complex sentences for clauses between conjunctions. So we have here, just in case you're reviewing the video, we have dynamic language up and down, comparison language comparing things, and our data in red. So have a look at this, review it, look at what's been done well. If you have to write a similar graph for practice, take note of some of these things and use them as part of your practice. I can't stress enough how important it is to look at example essays, especially good essays, to help you. Okay, that's the end of this lesson. Again, subscribe, like, comment, and click notification button. If you would like classes with us, please visit our website or visit our booking site. We're ready and willing to take your bookings. Thank you and see you in the next lesson.